Communication in an authentic marriage, it is something very crucial, something very beyond even essential. It is a must. Not only in a marriage setup, but also in a relationship that we have with Christ. Without communication, verbal, or how we look, or how we appear, we cannot be able to become more effective. Now, there is someone who portrayed how we communicate. I don't know where he got that. I don't know if he is or she is, or I know there's someone. They wrote this on Google. 7% is verbal communication. 50-something%, it is how we move our body language. 38, if I'm not wrong, it is our tone, how I talk, like the tone I'm using. You can tell I'm moving slow. But also if I go so quick, you see, there is something else to communicate. So, in a marriage setup, it is very important to know that you volunteer the information. That's very important. I always advise young men and young women that if you want a durable marriage that is full of happiness, share your spouse your past, and also your present, and also your future. That is what you think a future should look like. When we say that naked and not ashamed, it is very important. It is not striped and not ashamed. You shouldn't wait your spouse to come to stripe information out of you. They were naked and not ashamed. So, we live in a society that has taught us secrecy is victory, secrecy is privacy, secrecy is dignity. But guess what? They trained you how not to get married. It's as simple as that. Because you cannot be in a marriage setup whereby you are not open to conversations that you give voluntarily. Now, in a marriage, there are a few things that I would like to define. There are people in a marriage setup, they can't say anything except they are begged. You have to beg for you to know how the day were. You have to beg for you to know where did he grow up. Now, we have another category. You must force them. Begging is not enough. You have to put information out of them. You have to refrain some of the basic needs in a marriage for these people to talk. We go to another level. This is where if you ask, you are going to get the right answer. They are honest. They will tell you each and everything. If you ask, that is. If you don't ask, they assume you don't mind and you don't care. That's where some of them will ask, or you hear them say, why are you not asking me about my childhood? But we are here on a date. That's the whole point. I shouldn't even ask. Yes, don't refrain, asking shows that you care. But primarily marriage conversation shouldn't run on asking. It should run on naked and not ashamed. Also, the one who is being told. That's a challenge you are facing in our generation. How ready are you to receive the information you are being given? Because some of you, the reason why you don't open up, it's because there are some men or women you opened up, and then they're like, hey, how do you do that? Hey, you mean you said that? Hey. Now, that person, for them to ever open up to another person, unless they are dead. You see, so how are you built enough to receive this wife who is going to share with you their past? How much are you built to receive them? Now, we come from there. We have what we call candidness. This is where these people, they will tell you the truth regardless of how much it might make you feel uncomfortable or it might feel them uncomfortable. They understand that my life has to be known if I need a transparent or a good marriage, where I'm not wondering, are there things that I have hidden? Are there things that have been hidden from me? But now, kindness doesn't mean that you are rude. It just means that whatever it takes, you are going to do it for the information to surface or to give it to the other person. Besides that, we talk about transparency. This person, for them, they don't wait for you to come to ask. As we know, transparency, it is just a glass. You see to the other end. That's what builds a marriage setup. But to most people, they are still into a begging phase, and they are still also at a forceful phase. Why does one build and why does the other one doesn't build? Now, we have also other people who communicate the truth without not being told, but not because they are naked and not ashamed. No. But because they are afraid, if I have a child and I don't say it, one day my husband will come home and they will know. If I have X and I don't mention him or her anywhere, my wife one day or my husband one day will find out. So they will speak the truth, but in half. They don't come clean. They do it for the sake of doing it. But now we need to understand the healthy conversation in a marriage setup. It is where you volunteer information without being afraid. Yes, you can rather say it and then your husband or your wife react. It is okay. Rather than refraining the information and then when one day they find it out, you start, I thought you would get mad. And this is way easier when you are still dating, when you are still courting each other. That is the good opportunity. But you see, the problem, because of how insecure we feel or how needy we are, we think if we speak the truth, the other person is going to go. But guess what? They can rather go and wait for someone who is authentic, rather than having someone who is a fake, who you have to keep because of how much lies you tell or you keep. And then until one day it bursts out. These things have their way of surfacing. Believe you me. They just have a way. Truth moves slow, but it catches up with you. So that's why it is very important. Just volunteer this information. Your sexual scandals, the wealth you have, the kind of family you had, where you grew up. You might say, no, my family was the best family ever in the whole world. Oh, they trained me how to be a husband, how to be a wife. The day you get married, your character will expose you and they will be able to tell you've never been nearby a functioning marriage. So when you talk about coming clean, it's not about that you are a virgin or not a virgin, you are this or not this. No. We are talking about just simple things like communicate, be genuine. Don't say, I was good in mathematics. Me, don't see me like this. And then when you can't even budget a budget of 2 people, or you say, I'm a historian. When they ask you what caused the First World War or the Second World War, you can't even define. When they ask you why is Ukraine and Russia fighting, you don't know even the treaty that was signed between them. You see? So that's why you need to understand. When they ask you, why was the Finland reduced from where it is to the level it is on today, you will not be able to explain. Why? Because you have not learned how the marriage works. It doesn't work on what you want your spouse to see. No. It works on who you are and being free for your man to know you and your woman to know you like that. And if there need of improvement, you improve. Also, we are not saying that come the way you are with big stone headed. Oh, I'm this. No. You are not like that. Yeah, you are like that right now, but you need to improve. You need to change. The fact that you had no family to raise you, it doesn't mean that now you have all the right to abuse your spouse, put them down, demolish them. No. You have Christ, the one who has all the knowledge, all understanding, and all the wisdom. He's the one who gave you that marriage. So learn how to conduct it in accordingly. So thank you so much. But from today, you have to understand. One is being forced to give information. The other one is volunteering. The benefits of volunteering the information is that it comes with being naked and not ashamed, which creates the ultimate happiness, the ultimate joy, the ultimate successful marriage, the ultimate intimacy. It makes sex easier. It makes romance easier. Yes. Do we need to read other books in order to conduct, to know what to do and not to do? Yeah, it is true. But your transparency, it really creates true intimacy. Now, the other way around, what does it create? It creates gap. It creates secrecy. It creates division. And God said it well, Christ, that when a kingdom is divided, then the falling is inevitable. If you have some things that you'd like to share with your spouse and you don't know how, you can look for a counselor who is godly. You can look for a pastor who is trustworthy. You can look for someone who is authority figure, who won't expose you outside, and who you know that they know knowledge about marriage. Not just anyone just because they are married. No, they might be married, but how well do you know in regard to the knowledge they have about marriage? These people they shouldn't be the people you know or don't know. If you know them, glory to God. And ask them, I have something that I have not told my husband, have not told my wife, and I feel it is important in the long run. For me to keep this secret, it is requiring me to put some distance between me and him emotionally. How do I come up with a good way that is a structure to share this? They can advise you share with this when there's a third party, or write them a letter, or write them a text, or verbally communicate with them, or first share with them that there's something that you asked about and I lied, I did not tell you the whole truth, or I refrained the truth and now I would like to come clean, but I'm scared, I'm afraid, I don't know whether you still love me, I don't know whether it will change the way you perceive me, but I would like to be true to God and also to be true to you. It is very important. So I'm not saying that to go this morning and then say, oh, this night I did this, or I did this, or did this. No. But it is very important. So many people, they will tell you, no, don't do that. You know, your marriage might end. Listen, what is a marriage? If there is no naked and not ashamed, then you have to be very careful whether even you have a marriage at all. Because marriage represents God. And marriage that represents, can you imagine us hiding things from God? Can you imagine? It would be weird. Our relationship with Him. So, if your marriage would be measured on naked and not ashamed, that barometer, how did it leave your marriage? Don't wait until you have wedded in order to speak the truth. It will become harder. I know. I've sat with couples. I know what that means. Commit to the truth even before you wed, even before you start to live in the same house. If he goes, if she goes, it's okay.